Once upon a time in a city not too far away, there was a police force. They patrolled the streets, responded to 911 calls, and swore to protect the innocent. But what if those very same officers turned out to be anything but righteous? Welcome to my channel. Today we'll delve into a tale that's as gripping as any crime drama, yet is rooted in chilling reality. The story of a network that owned the police. Act 1. The Illusion of Law. We're raised to believe that law enforcement officers are our protectors, the guardians of justice, the epitome of authority. They stand as symbols of order and safety in our society. Their presence is meant to offer solace, a reassurance that we're shielded by an impenetrable shield against the forces of chaos and malevolence. But what happens when the very foundation of this belief system starts to crumble? What if the men and women entrusted with upholding the law themselves become its greatest violators? Act 2. The First Signs. It began subtly, almost imperceptibly. Criminals seemed to escape justice with unnerving frequency. Cases that should have been front-page news quietly disappeared into oblivion. Eyewitnesses came forward only to find their testimonies conveniently disregarded. A sense of unease started to permeate through the community, a feeling that something was amiss, that the scales of justice had been tipped. Act 3. The Network. Behind the scenes, an intricate web of corruption had taken root. Crime bosses, their hands stained with the grime of the underworld, had infiltrated the highest echelons of law enforcement. Billionaires with shady dealings sought to expand their empires untroubled by the long arm of the law. Politicians, their eyes fixed on the glittering prize of power, colluded with both the criminals and the corrupt cops. Together, they wove a tapestry of deceit that threatened to engulf the entire city. Act 4. The Price of Loyalty. As the network tightened its grip on the police force, it ensured that those who played their game well were handsomely rewarded. Promotions were given not on the basis of merit or seniority, but on the strength of one's connection to the network. Investigations that could implicate members of the network were quietly buried, allowing the guilty to walk free. Those who posed a threat were eliminated, their disappearances chalked up to some unsolved mystery. The police force, which should have been the bulwark of justice, became a mere pawn in the game of corruption, enforcing not the law, but the will of the network. Act 5. The Evidence. Despite the veil of secrecy that the network had carefully woven, cracks began to show. Whistleblowers came forward risking their lives to expose the rot from within. Leaked recordings, incriminating documents, and harrowing testimonies painted a grim picture of the state of affairs. Time and again, the same names surfaced, the same network that seemed to exist beyond the reach of law and order. Act 6. The Collapse. The network, emboldened by years of unchallenged dominance, grew increasingly brazen. A scandal erupted that threatened to bring the entire house of cards crashing down. An entire department was exposed as being on the take. Public trust, once the bedrock of the police force's legitimacy, was shattered beyond repair. The network, sensing the shifting tides, tried to stem the flow of damaging information. Politicians made grand statements promising reform, while the police leadership pledged to restore public faith. But behind closed doors, the same corrupt deals were struck, the same payments made, the same favors called in. For networks don't collapse, they adapt. Act 7. The Lesson. The story of the network that owned the police is not just a tale of a bygone era. It's a stark reminder of the fragility of law, the malleability of justice, and the ever-present danger of unchecked power. It underscores the fact that those who enforce the law are not immune to its subversion, and that the guardians of our safety are not always who they seem to be. Closing reflection. In the end, it wasn't the government, it wasn't the people, it wasn't even the law. It was a network. The network that owned the police. And as the curtain falls on this gripping tale, we're left to ponder the chilling implications. In a world where power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely, we must remain vigilant, ensuring that those we trust with authority don't become its tyrants. For the story of the network that owned the police is not just a story, it's a cautionary tale for all times. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates. See you in the next video.